You win some, you lose some. Let's open this baby up and see what we're dealing with. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another movie review, and this time I'm going to review another film that has recently been given a high-def treatment, much like my Dragon Slayer video, and this is Dr. Giggles. Dr. Giggles is a horror slasher film that came out back in 1992, and it's basically about a doctor or a psychotic monster who thinks he's a doctor, who goes by the name Dr. Giggles, who escapes from a mental asylum and begins going on a killing spree. And that's pretty much what the gist of the movie is, more or less. Of course, he kind of learned the trade from his father, who was a doctor who basically just tried whatever he can to bring his wife back, but unfortunately the townspeople caught him. Father was ultimately slain, and the son disappeared, and basically just kind of took up the mantle as his father, more or less, and he began stalking the people in a nearby town, the very town in which he used to live in. Now it's vacated by, no, not vacated, that's not the best word to use, but now it's being, yeah, pretty much, you get the idea. Dr. Giggles was released back in 1992 as part of Universal Pictures and Largo Entertainment, which Largo and Universal have since distanced themselves or have gone apart from each other, and Largo was ultimately later picked up by, I think Warner Brothers picked them up. And this was actually the first movie released through Universal and Largo Entertainment. And also, Largo Entertainment somehow managed to strike a deal with Dark Horse Comics to produce a franchise, hoping to make a franchise based on Dr. Giggles, which, by the way, did spawn off a 2-issue comic series of the character, which is pretty interesting. Manny Cotto, the director, I don't know much about him. Just what I've read. Now, of course, Larry Drake, who plays Dr. Giggles, he really needs no introduction because he's probably known for quite a few things. He's done some television series, and he's been in a number of films. But some of his most notable appearances were as the psychotic Santa Claus in the Tales from the Crypt episode and All Through the House. And, of course, he's also known as Robert G. Durant from Darkman in the first movie and in its direct-to-video sequel. And Holly Marie Combs, who, of course, is probably known for the TV series Charmed and Pretty Little Liars. So, Dr. Giggles, unfortunately, was a bit of a sleeper hit when it debuted in 1992. It grossed about $8 million against a $7 million budget, so it was a moderate success for especially for a horror slasher film like this. But of course, it was met with mostly negative reviews, unfortunately. So it kind of died. I mean, obviously, they were hoping to do a success. They were hoping to do a franchise of this movie. I mean, the title alone is definitely. It's quite a. The title definitely. Just Dr. Giggles. I mean, it's one of those titles that just. You kind of see it as a franchise, or I mean, like this is the kind of title you'd see for a villain for a comic book series, and yet. I can see why Dark Horse, because Dark Horse is notorious for doing a lot of, darker, edgier comics. Like, they were the same guys that also did, the same group that also did The Mask and Hellboy. Well, The Mask being a much darker series of comics, unlike the Jim Carrey movie. So. But, like I said, Universal once distributed this movie, but the funny thing, also... not only do I have the Blu-ray here, but I also have the DVD still of Dr. Giggles. But yeah, Warner Brothers put it out instead of Universal because, like I said, Largo Entertainment... where's the... Yeah, Largo Entertainment has since, like I said, Universal kind of... Warner Brothers ended up picking up the rights, and that's the reason why. Now, recently, Shout Factory has recently put out Dr. Giggles on Blu-ray. In fact, I think they put it out around the same time as Dragon Slayer was released. So, but The thing I got to tell you all is this is actually not the first Blu-ray release of Dr. Giggles. The first one was actually released by Warner Brothers in a double feature with another film called Otis, which unfortunately that Blu-ray doesn't have any bonus features. The only other I only have the DVD though to show off here also, and the DVD actually is actually in pretty good. It actually does offer a pretty good picture and audio for the movie, but again, the DVD has no extras. Nothing. But it still is a good presentation of the movie, nonetheless. But it is great that Shout Factory finally picked up this cult favorite. And yeah, over the years, the movie was, like I said, it was a moderate sleeper hit when it came out. But over the years, it grew a huge cult following. And this was actually one title that, like, a lot of fans were literally begging for Shout Factory to put on Blu-ray. And finally, their wishes were granted. And it's nice to see it, too, because the nice thing about Shout Factory's Blu-ray is at least it has bonus features, which is a nice selection here, but we'll get to that momentarily. So here's what the Blu-ray looks like for Dr. Giggles. It's pretty cool, actually. I like the interior look, which is nice. That's pretty cool, actually. So anyway, as for the video on the Blu-ray, honestly, it looks pretty good. I'm surprised. Shout Factory usually is kind of up and down with some of their titles, but Dr. Giggles is one where they actually did a fairly decent job with the movie. It's presented in widescreen anamorphic 239x1, which I'll mention here momentarily. That I will say the Warner Brothers DVD and Blu-ray does not have the film in this aspect ratio. It only has the film formatted in 178x1. Which is what the DVD and the Warner Brothers Blu-ray has. Now, the thing is, it's because Shout Factory's Blu-ray presents the film in its original theatrical aspect ratio, so the widescreen anamorphic 235x1 or 239x1, this is the ratio that the movie was shown in. It was actually shown in when it was played in theaters. So I don't know why Warner Brothers chose to blow the image up to 178x1. Maybe it's because they had the rights, and they figure, well, you know, they could do that. But Shout Factory decided to go back and find the original theatrical aspect ratio of the film and present the movie the way I'm sure it was originally intended to be. So I will have to give them that. But I probably should hold on to the Warner Brothers DVD. I mean, usually when I get a movie on Blu-ray, I usually tend to replace the DVD or give it away or sell it. But I might hold on to this because it offers two different ratios of the movie. So, but yeah, I mean, the Shout Factory Blu-ray honestly looks really good. It's really sharp in many areas, and honestly, this is probably the best you're probably ever going to see the film look. That is until Shout Factory does the inevitable 4K release. But like I said, not into 4K. I never really got into it, so. And honestly, the video looks fantastic. I would say out of 5 stars. It's not perfect, though. I mean, you know, for a movie made in 1992, it is going to show its age. I mean, since what, 1992 or 2023, so it'd be 30. So the movie's 31 years old. But hey, I mean, it was close. I mean, last year would have been the film's 30th anniversary. Perfect time to put the Blu-ray out, but they waited till this year to get it out, so. Yeah, as you can see, and the funny thing is at the beginning of the film, the movie does, sorry, it still has the Universal logo appear at the beginning of the movie, but yeah, you can see the Warner Brothers logo here on the disc, because like I said, Largo Entertainment is now owned technically by Warner Brothers, or they either, yeah, got picked up by them or whatnot. So I would say out of 5 stars, the video would probably get maybe 4, possibly a 4.5. I'm kind of bordering on both of those because the video is kind of up and down. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's a great disc, not a great picture. Not gonna lie. But I'm kind of bordering on both because, you know, like I said, the film does tend to show its age, but at the same time, you know, it looks fantastic. I mean, again, the best I've ever seen the film look. As for the audio, holy crap, this thing is loud. Although there's only one audio track to choose from, it's the DTS, and it's just the 2.0 DTS track. And honestly, this sucker is loud. You know, sometimes 2.0 tracks don't really have that much oomph to them, but this is one where it really does. Now, I think the original DVD had a oh, it just had 2.0 Dolby yeah, Dolby surround stereo. That's what it had. I'm sorry. Yeah, there, Dolby surround stereo. So, it's basically the same 2.0 track from the DVD just bumped up into DTS for the Blu-ray pretty much. And honestly, sounds good. Hear everything, the dialogue is excellent. Every sound effect, every thrill, every scream, every little scare that pops up, it's perfect for a movie like this. So I have no complaints with the audio. Out of 5 stars, I'd have to give the audio a solid 5 out of 5. That's how that's how good it is. As for the bonus features, I would probably just simply say the fact that since the previous Warner Brothers DVD and Blu-ray didn't have anything, it's actually a welcoming sight to see that Shout Factory went the extra mile and gave us a nice little put-together supplemental package. Laughter is the best medicine, making Dr. Giggles. It's a brand new interview with director Manny Cotto, who literally looks back on the film and honestly seems pretty proud of how the movie came out, and is glad to see the cult following it achieved. And he also talks about, his background, what led him to become a filmmaker, and also there's an never before seen archival interview with Larry Drake, who sadly is no longer with us since he passed back in 2016. But it's an interview with him as he talks about getting the role of Dr. Giggles, and how Manny Cotto said that he said Larry Drake was at one point, I think they had another actor in mind as Dr. Giggles, but once he heard about Larry Drake, he was like, yep, I have to have this guy. Melodies of Madness, the film scores of Brian May. Brian May was the composer for Dr. Giggles, and he worked on several movies. And this is an interview not with Brian May, since I think he has since passed on. And it's an interview with another person who talks about, it's a historian that talks about, the film scores of him, and also talks a little bit about his work on Dr. Giggles. New interview with film historian, oh yeah, that's who it is, music historian Randall D. Larson. Sorry, I didn't read the whole, I should have, sorry about that. It's a new interview with, Randall D. Larson, as he talked, because I thought that was part of the, I thought that was a different, sorry about that. A vintage featurette that was made during the film's production, theatrical trailers, VHS teasers, and TV spots. Yeah, not the biggest supplemental package, but honestly though, it is a welcoming sight to see, especially for a Shout Factory Blu-ray. And the fact that I said neither of the 2 previous releases have not gotten any bonus features on them, so, and I don't have the other, unfortunately I don't have the Warner Brothers Blu-ray to show off, because that one's out of print and it's really hard to get a hold of, so. But for anybody that owns the Warner Brothers Blu-ray, yeah, they can tell you very much that it really would have been nice if Dr. Giggles had gotten any bonus material on it. But the Shout Factory Blu-ray does offer a welcoming sight of extras. I would say out of 5 stars, I would say the supplemental package would probably get maybe, I would say definitely a 4. Well, maybe I'm being too generous, but at the same time, it's all about quality over quantity. And again, the quality of the extras is fantastic. And the fact that we finally get a version of the film on home video that actually has bonus material on it. So yeah, you should just be thankful that, Shout Factory did give us this. Would have been nice if there was a commentary with Manny Cotto. That would have been a great seal dealer there. But either way, though, it's what we get is a nice selection of material. Judging from the quality of the movie, since this movie definitely has developed a cult following, horror fans will they'll gobble this movie up like crazy. Not to mention, it's got a excellent performance by Larry Drake as the psychotic Dr. Giggles, and I'm not gonna lie, I love that giggling laugh he makes anytime he takes out any of his victims. He just kind of does the and he has some great one-liners too in the movie. A lot of great one-liners, especially the you win some, you lose some. Let's open this baby up and see what we're dealing with. I mean, it has a lot of great funny. I mean, yeah, it's a horror comedy. I mean, but it's more of like, it is what you get what you get. But like I said, obviously it's a film that's not going to be for everybody. But horror fans like myself will definitely appreciate this film more for what it is. And the Shout Factory Blu-ray, yeah, like I said, it's brand new. You can get it online for, I think, the cheapest you'll probably find is like $20. So honestly, it's but like I said, this is probably the definitive edition of the film. It offers fantastic video, pulse-pounding audio, a nice little wealth of bonus material that's definitely worth more than what you see. And honestly, like I said, I could rate the film based on what I've seen here, but I'm just going to say, honestly, if you haven't seen Dr. Giggles, give this movie a try. If you don't feel like going for the Blu-ray, I can't remember. I didn't check to see if the DVD was still available, but if you can find it, if you can find a copy of this movie, definitely give it a try. This is actually a fun little horror flick you got to check out. So, I would say, based on this, I would say, for horror fans, highly recommended. But for everybody else, I would say, if you're not a horror fan, I'd say give it a try. It's not the scariest thing I've ever seen, but yeah, it does have enough thrills to... I mean, obviously, it's not for first-time people who are not really into horror films, but at the same time, I'd say give it a try. It's not completely graphic. I mean, yeah, there are some gory kills, but it's not the most violent thing I've seen. I've seen way worse. So, overall, I'd say definitely recommended. But yeah, Shout Factory did a fantastic job with this Blu-ray, and it's great that it's finally now available on home video. So, this concludes the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will continue to do more videos in the days to come. And if you like this content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel. And everybody take care and be safe. The doctor is in. Is there a doctor in the house?